Before beginning, I would like to thank Ratalaika Games for sending us a review copy of Midnight Deluxe. There are many good puzzle games out there, especially for the Switch. Some games take full advantage of their complex set of different mechanics in order to give the player a test of real ability and intellect. On the other hand, there are games in the genre like Midnight Deluxe that focus on one specific mechanic with a simple objective. It's one of those puzzlers that can get extremely addictive, and it holds a lot of promise by its simple gameplay nature, but that simplicity can also serve as a double-edged sword. Also, this title doesn't really have anything resembling a story, so let's cut to the chase and start off this review with the gameplay. The player takes control of a little square-shaped fairy called Midnight. By launching Midnight at different angles, the player is supposed to land on top of each level's safe zone. It's a simple golf-like puzzler where the objective is to make the least amount of throws to get higher points, which makes for an addictive experience to say the least. The controls are extremely simple. When holding A, the player is able to choose the direction and force that the cube is thrown by using the analog stick. There are also optional touchscreen controls that are quite more intuitive than using the Joy-Cons, since the analog stick feels a tad more finicky and imprecise. There are 70 short levels to play, and it will only take a bit less than a couple of hours before the game is complete. It can be compared to a smartphone game, making the player want to try the same level as many times as possible only to get a perfect score. However, this addictive nature of gameplay also comes with the cost of being too repetitive for its own good. Unique mechanics are not introduced very often, and when they are, it feels like the designers are just rehashing the same ideas and concepts again and again. Besides, on some levels it honestly feels like there are just a lot of elements out of place that serve no purpose whatsoever. This makes for a ton of poorly designed levels with no real sense of challenge. Although it gets progressively harder, the experience can get mind-numbing since there is no real change in gameplay and basic mechanics. This game is better digestible when played in short bursts, making this more of a time waster than anything else really. The presentation is the highlight of the game for me. The aesthetics are inspired by the contrast between darkness and light. This is by itself a really imaginative idea that makes Midnight Deluxe a whole lot more unique looking than other contestants in the genre. It's simple but effective, even in a level design mindset. It simplifies the information present in each level, making it easier for the player to know what to do. This art style goes well with the simple nature of the gameplay, but sadly it also suffers from a similar problem. There's simply no variety on the graphical department. The backgrounds are always this faint looking blue, which also adds up to the repetitive downside of the game, making this a whole lot more taxing to play in long sessions. The sound design is also a major setback. There are no real sound effects here, making a lot of what the player does lose its impact. The soundtrack also started getting on my nerves since there are only about 2 very similar songs during the entire game. And to make things worse, whenever the player resets a level, the song also resets and randomly changes. And believe me, this is just annoying enough to become a big problem. Much like the gameplay, the presentation is another misuse of this game's true potential. Overall, Midnight Deluxe is a game with a big amount of unexplored potential. It simply lacks the innovative level design and polish. I cannot recommend this game if you want anything more than a simple time waster, but that's also completely fine since it's just a $4 game. There's value here, and I speak from experience when I say that it's an okay portable game when played in short intervals. However, the lack of unique mechanics, polish and variety make this one of the most mind-numbingly boring puzzlers when played during long periods of time. It literally left me wanting more and less at the same time. More unique mechanics and overall content, but less of the same puzzle concepts being reused over and over. The addictive aspect fades out quicker than it should, making Midnight Deluxe an incredibly mediocre puzzle title. I give this game a 2 out of 5. Hey, thanks for watching this video. Let us know your opinions on Midnight Deluxe in the comments below. Also, don't forget to check out the channel for more awesome reviews and to follow us on Twitter for more updates and info straight from the source. I would also like to thank all the lovely people who support us over on Patreon, especially our super patron, the Duke of Dorks. Anyway, this was Rick, and I will see you guys next time.